Let's take a look at how we can get some input from our users. I'll call this project Keyboard Input. We'll add a class, making sure we're in the correct source folder. I'll call it Keyboard User Input. We'll add some documentation at the top. A brief description. We're going to learn how to use a scanner object. Scanner is a class. That's why it's capitalized. And that's the first thing we're going to do is create a scanner object. Here's how we'll do it. Scanner with a capital S, and we'll give our object a name. I'll call it keyboard. You can call it whatever you like. Equals new scanner. That's the giveaway that we're instantiating or creating an instance of a new object. And then system.in is in parentheses. But we've got some red squiggly lines here for Eclipse. It doesn't know what a scanner is at this point. There are several suggestions. The one we're going to use is to import scanner from java.util, short for utilities. And at the top, you see that there's a new line that Eclipse has put in. It's okay to leave it up there. I prefer to bring it down closer to the start of the class so that I just have the documentation at the top. That's totally optional for you. That does need to appear before public class keyboard user input. All right, we'll declare a string. I'll call it first name, and we're going to get that string from the user. And we're going to use a method called nextLine. So we'll prompt the user to enter your first name. I'll use system.out.print this time. That way what the user types will go right beside our prompt. And first name equals keyboard, which is the name of our scanner object, dot nextLine. That method will return a string that is typed in. And we'll display the name that we got just to make sure it worked. We'll enter a first name, any name you like. We'll go with Rudolph. Hello, Rudolph. It worked. But we should really be more excited to meet Rudolph. I'll add an exclamation point. Try it again. All right. nextLine is useful when we want to obtain a string from the user. The scanner knows things are over when we hit enter. Next, let's get an integer from the user. We'll determine a number of jelly beans. So again, I'll prompt the user to enter the number of jelly beans. I'm going to once again use .print so that what the user types is on the same line as our prompt. And then num of jelly beans will equal keyboard, the name of our scanner object, .nextInt. So this method will return an integer that the user types in. We'll display this also to check to make sure it worked. We'll incorporate the first name that we've already obtained. Of course, you can use any topic. It doesn't have to be jelly beans. We'll enter the first name. Now we'll enter an integer. Let's check out obtaining a double. I'll use a double called cheesiness. I'm not sure exactly what it measures, how cheesy you are, how much cheese you have, but we'll ask the users to give us their cheese levels. So I'll have cheesiness equal keyboard, the name of our scanner object, dot nextDouble. And then we'll display this also to make sure that it works. Here we go. You may have noticed you have to click down here in the console in Eclipse. If you don't and you start typing, it's actually going to start typing in your code. I'll enter a decimal. It works out okay. So we've learned nextLine for strings, nextInt for integers, nextDouble for doubles. Let's get a new name. I'll use a new line character, and this time I'll do system.out.println to show you that you can also have them enter their information on the line underneath the prompt. So prompting the users to enter a new name, and I'll make first name equal, once again, keyboard.nextLine. That's the one we need for a string. And we'll display the new name that the user types in. Let's give it a try. I'll click down in the console, enter my first name, Rudolph, jelly beans 124, a cheese level, and then I'm ready to put in a new name. Whoa! I never got a chance to put in a new name. Right away it went down to say your new name is, and that was blank, and I never got a chance to enter a new name, but I was supposed to. There was a next line. What happened? The issue is, the last time we used the scanner object, we were getting numeric data. We were also getting numeric data ahead of that. And we have an issue we have to address because there was a new line character hanging out in the buffer for our scanner object. When I typed in 124 and hit enter, that's what was in the buffer. nextInt knew to take the 124 and to stop when it saw a new line character and not take the new line character. That's not numeric, and that would crash any input there. When nextDouble showed up, the new line character was still hanging out. I put in 7.4598. nextDouble and nextInt know to skip over or take care of the new line character at the start, but the next time they encounter new line characters, they know that's where they're supposed to end and not take those characters. So when I got to nextLine here, there was still a new line character hanging out in the buffer, which is the same as hitting enter. And that's what the Java virtual machine believed I did. It thought I hit enter and didn't type in anything, and my new name didn't have anything. There is a way to take care of this. We can consume or absorb that new line character that's hanging out in the buffer, and you have to remember to do this when you're switching from numeric data to string data, when you want to go from nextDouble or nextInt to then use nextLine. This is not an issue, by the way, going the other way, which you noticed because we did nextLine first and then used nextInt and nextDouble. But now we're switching back to use nextLine. So we'll just do keyboard.nextLine. That will take in the new line character. Notice we didn't set a variable equal to it. It just takes it and it wipes out what's in the buffer, so it's nice and clean when we ask the users for a new name. So I'll enter in Rudolph, 124 jelly beans, a cheese level, and then now I can enter a new name, Blitzen. Check to see if this is the problem if you ever encounter a time when you're not able to enter in information using nextLine. Look to see if the last thing you did was use nextInt or nextDouble. We can also use this idea of consuming a new line to pause a program, so to speak. I'll put a prompt to press enter to continue and then have keyboard.nextLine, and that there's no variable that equals it. I've just got it there. And then the program will just go on with whatever it needs to do. And it will give the idea that we're pausing the program. I'll type in a first name, a number of jelly beans, a cheese level, a new name, And here's the prompt. Press enter to continue. Once I press enter, keyboard nextLine absorbs that new line character and the program moves on.